Hello students. Today we are going to do the third video on the topic limits. So today the topic to be considered would be limits of trigonometric functions. As we all are aware, for the functions which are defined at a particular value, the limiting value is the same as the value of the function at that point. So because of this, we can easily have that limit x tending to 0 sine x will be simply equal to sine 0, which is 0, limit x tending to 0 cos x will be equal to cos 0, which is 1. But when it comes to sec x, tan x, cosec x and cot x, these are rational functions. Means these are functions of the type px by qx. And so in such a case, limit is defined directly limit is defined so long as the value of the function is defined. Else we have to make use of certain techniques. Now let's see. Suppose we have to find limit x tending to 0 tan x. Very clearly it will be equal to sine 0 over cos 0, which is 0 by 1, which is 0. The value of the function as well as the limiting value both exist and are equal to 0. But if we find x tending to 0 cot x, it is cos 0 upon sine 0, which is 1 upon 0, which is not defined. So here since it is the division or quotient of a function, a non-zero value upon a zero value, neither the value nor the limiting value is defined. Similarly, if we check the limit x tending to 0 cosec x will be equal to 1 upon sine 0, which is again not defined, but limit x tending to 0 sec x equal to 1 over cos 0, which is 1 over 1, which is 1. So here the value as well as the limiting value are defined. Now let's take up a certain set of different results. Like for example, limit x tending to 0, if we have to find sine x over x, it is 0 by 0 form. So as discussed in the previous video, this is a category which can be worked upon. Similarly, if I have x tending to 0 tan x over x, this is again 0 by 0 form. So which using the result of this result, that is limit x tending to 0 sine x over x, some trigonometric relation, that is tan x is sine over cos, and then algebra of limits, we can do it as you will shortly see. Now similarly, if we have limit x tending to 0 1 minus cos x over x square, this is again 0 by 0 form. And another result to be seen is x tending to 0 1 minus cos x over x, which is also 0 by 0 form. Now we are going to discuss these four results. Okay, now in this case what we do is, now we will take up the series expansion of sin x and cos x. So first of all, let us take up series expansion of sin x and cos x. We will see that they can be expanded in terms of infinite polynomials. Series involving infinite, it's an infinite series involving some increasing powers of x. Now if you have sine x, the result is x cube over 3 factorial, x5 over 5 factorial, x7 over 7 factorial, and so on. Same way, if you have cos x, the series expansion is 1 minus x square over 2 factorial plus x4 over 4 factorial, x6 over 6 factorial, and so on. Now, how do we remember these series expansions? Very obviously, if we observe carefully, what do we observe? That in case of sine and cos both, it is sum or difference of certain powers of x divided by the same factorial. Like if it is x, it is x upon 1 factorial, x cube over 3 factorial, x5 over 5 factorial, x7 over 7 factorial. Similarly, x square over 2 factorial, and this 1 can be written as x raised to power 0 upon 0 factorial, x raised to power 4 over 4 factorial, and so on. So first thing to be kept in mind is that each term is such that whatever is the power of x, same is the in the denominator, same is the factorial. Okay, that's the first point. Second point is that they all the terms involved in the expansion of sine are odd powers of x, whereas all the terms involved in the expansion of cos x is even powers of x, which starts with 0, 0, 2, 4, 6, and so on. This is the second point to be kept in mind. The third point to be kept in mind is they are alternately positive and negative. So here it is positive, then negative, and so on. Similarly, here also positive, negative, and so on. So that's how we remember the series expansions. Now, let us take the first case. Limit x tending to 0 sine x over x. Very obviously, it is 0 by 0 form, and so we need to do something about it. Instead of writing sine x, we write it series expansion. So what will we get? Limit x tending to 0, x minus x cube over 3 factorial, x5 over 5 factorial, x7 over 7 factorial, and so on, whole upon x. Now here, if you observe carefully, every term has at least one power of x which can be taken common. So what we do is x times, we are left with 1 minus x squared over 3 factorial, x4 over 5 factorial, x6 over 7 factorial, and so on, whole upon x. Now, as x approaches 0, it is not equal to 0. It's a non-zero thing which can be easily cancelled. And now we substitute the limit at x is equal to 0. We get 1 minus 0, which is 1. And clearly we get the result, limit x tending to 0 sine x over x is equal to 1, which is a very, very important result. Exactly on the same lines, you can check out the limit of x tending to 0 tan x over x. Either you use the series expansion of tan, which is x minus x cube over some positive number, and x cube over 5, and so on. So instead of that, you can even use the trigonometric functions and the algebra of limits. That is, we can write it as sine x over cos x into x, which can be written as limit x tending to 0 sine x over x whole over cos x. Applying the algebra of limits, we get limit x tending to 0 sine x over x upon limit x tending to 0 cos x. Now putting the limits, this result is equal to 1 upon cos 0 is 1, which comes out to be 1, and so we get another result, that is, and these results can be directly used. You don't have to show how we got it. Wherever we come across such a result in any question, we can directly use them. Now coming to the next result, we see that third, limit x tending to 0 1 minus cos x over x square. Again, it is 0 by 0 form. Now let's write the series expansion of cos x. So what do we get? 1 minus x squared over 2 factorial, x4 over 4 factorial, x6 over 6 factorial, and so on, whole upon x square. Now this one and this one gets cancelled, and if you observe carefully, every term has at least two powers of x which can be taken common, and so we get this. Opening the brackets, the sign gets absorbed and we get x squared. We are left with 1 over 2 factorial, x squared over 4 factorial, plus x4 over 6 factorial, and so on, whole upon x square. In the limiting case, as x approaches 0, this is not equal to 0 and so can be easily cancelled. Substituting the value, we get 1 over 2 factorial minus 0, which comes out to be half. And with this, we get the result, limit x tending to 0, 1 minus cos x over x squared is equal to half. This is also a very important and standard result. You can directly substitute this result to solve any question. Now a similar result is 1 minus cos x over x. Now in this case, this is also 0 by 0 form. Now in this case, again we substitute the series expansion for cos. 1 minus x squared over 2 factorial, x4 over 4 factorial, x6 over 6 factorial, and so on, whole upon x. 1 gets cancelled with 1. Now if you just observe, again like above, x square can be taken common, and so what we get is limit x tending to 0 and the minus sign gets absorbed, x squared, and we are left with 1 over 2 factorial minus x squared over 4 factorial, x4 over 6 factorial, and so on, whole upon x. Clearly, when you cancel it, you are still left with one factor x. Now applying algebra of limits, you get limit x tending to 0 of x into limit x tending to 0 of 1 over 2 minus x squared over 4 factorial, x4 over 6 factorial, and so on. This comes out to be 0 into half, which is equal to 0, and so we get another result. This is equal to 1 minus cos x over x is equal to 0. This is another result which can be directly applied to the questions. Now with this, we can do questions based on trigonometric functions. That is, let's take up the question number 13 of the exercise. So if you just continue with exercise 13.1, question number 13, we get limit x tending to 0 sine ax over bx. Now this being a constant can come out limit x tending to 0 sine ax over x. Now, as far as the result is concerned, we have x tending to 0, sine x over x is 1. But here we have, along with x, we also have a. So, to be able to use this result, we need the denominator, also we need a. So, multiplying and dividing both numerator and denominator by a, what do we get? 1 over b limit a sine ax upon ax, x tending to 0. Now if you replace, or you can write it directly also, as x tends to 0, ax will also tend to 0. So you can write it as x tending to 0 or ax tending to 0. Now you apply, or you could have done it as you put ax as t and then this gets converted to, or you could write it as 1 upon b limit a sine t over t. by putting ax as t. Then again the limit of t has to be put, that is as x tends to 0, t tends to a into 0, which is 0. So here you write it as this. Now again we know, using algebra of limits, we know that limit of a function multiplied to a constant will be equal to constant times the limit of that function sine t over t, which comes out to be a by b into 1, and so the result is a by b. Similarly, we have another type of question, which is limit x tending to 0 sine ax over sine bx. Now in this case what we do, and where it is given that a and b are not equal to 0, because if they become 0, then what happens is it becomes 0 by 0 form directly. Now here the function itself is not defined in that case. Now here we are checking at x equal to 0, the function is 0 by 0 form, and so now to be able to use this result, we have to multiply and divide by x, sine bx over x, which we can do as x tends to 0 and is not equal to 0. Now again, like above, to be able to use this result, now first of all we will split it as the quotient of the two limits. Now sine ax over x, we can write it as multiplying and dividing by a, and sine bx over x can be written as multiplying and dividing by b. Now as x tends to 0, obviously ax tends to 0 as well as bx tends to 0, and so what we get is this a comes outside, limit ax tending to 0 sine ax over ax, this is one standard form, upon b times limit bx tends to 0, and this is sine bx over bx, which is another standard form, and so when you put the result, it comes out to be a into 1 upon b into 1, and the result is a by b. Likewise, you can try out the other problems also. Thank you.